Good morning. Hope everyone's enjoying a wonderful Wednesday morning. This is Millionaire Brand Creation. I'm your host, Michael Banovac. I think we're on our 25th episode, and I'm really excited to bring to you an agent in a different state. This is Seth. What did I say? Did I say Rochefort? Hopefully, it's French, so hopefully I pronounced that correctly. But what I like to do, as you know, is we're all about branding, right? How do we curate and create your $1 million brand and beyond? And what I like to do is I like to introduce you to folks that have implemented a lot of what we talked about. And then also folks we don't know a lot about to interview, to learn from. So I'm really, really excited to introduce you to a friend of mine, Seth. Hear his story. Let's see what he has to say. Seth, how are you, my friend?
Michael, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Did I pronounce your name right? What is it? Rochefort?
Rochefort, yeah. I mean, it's
Rochefort.
close enough.
Rochefort, okay.
I'll answer to anything.
So for everyone listening in, I met Seth via Instagram online, and I think we connected because we liked each other's social media presence, and I think that's one of the biggest things that we can curate as our personal brand, right? How do we meet each other virtually? And then secondly, how do we create better brands for ourselves and for our fellow agents and entrepreneurs? So tell us about you, Seth. Tell us about your background.
So I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I was born and raised there, lived there until I was 22. I went to school for business. And after I was done with school, I felt like I needed to venture out and try new things. My sister had just moved out to Albuquerque back in 2008, and I graduated in 2012. So about that time is when I moved out here, and then I absolutely hated it. So I went to Vegas for 5.5 years.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, while I was there, I worked in nightlife. I did not know a single person there, but I realized how powerful my networking skills were. And I was able to meet some amazing people during my time there. Obviously, working in nightlife, it gets crazy. It's just a very fast-paced lifestyle. It's a lot of fun. But towards the end of my time there, I felt like I needed a change. So I actually applied to work on a cruise ship. And I did that for a little under a year. It was in Hawaii. That definitely instilled a lot of hard work in me. So for anyone that's ever been interested or has worked on a cruise ship, you know that you work every single day. You have no days off. Yes, you have time to sleep and like time to go see the island, but you do work every day. So it's it's very rewarding, but it's a lot of hard work. And after I was done with that, I actually came back to Vegas, went back to work in nightlife in the restaurant hospitality industry. And then I was kind of like, you know what, I need to change it up. And my family has all moved to Albuquerque as of 2016, minus my brother, who's in San Diego. But I was 27 at the time, and I just felt like I needed a change. I wanted to be close to my family. And then I moved here and went back to school again for marketing. And then after I was done with that, I kind of did trial and error. I worked for Bulletproof Coffee, so I worked with Dave Asprey doing marketing for them. And then obviously COVID happened, so that messed a lot of people's lives up. And that's when I got into real estate, was at the beginning of 2020. January 2020.
Let's jump back to Vegas, because I'm always curious about what did you learn socializing and what were some of the social skills, because we talk about this a lot on the podcast. Where did you work in Vegas, number one, and what did you learn in that fast-paced environment that helped you in your business?
So when I first moved there, I worked for a company called Night Tours, and it was a VIP hosting company. My role was to cater to multiple clients at a time, take them into different venues, and also make sure that they're being entertained. We were on party buses, going to multiple nightclub venues in one night. So basically, my job was to entertain people, get out of my comfort zone. It was nerve wracking at first, but I think when you're forced to get out of your comfort zone, you definitely thrive. I've noticed, but I was still very young when I moved to Vegas. I was 22 when I moved there, and I'm 32 now. But um, yeah, I just honestly, I talked to everyone. I was on social media. I was going to I have a lot of beautiful girlfriends. So a lot of them worked in nightlife as well. So I was going to a lot of these, the bottle service, like going out every night that they had to do their marketing stuff. And I just slowly started talking to people and getting my name out there. And I really just got out as much as possible, started getting in front of as many people as I possibly could. And I met a lot of the right people who got me connected. And honestly, I think being genuine and vulnerable and just open and kind to people really got me to where I was at that time. And I was going to all the nightclubs. I mean, we've got when I first moved there, it was like Bank,
Trist.
yeah. I actually met the AGM of Excess. I think it was like the first month I was there, so that was kind of a huge change in like the people that I met, because we were going on stage, meeting people. I mean, I had never done anything like this in my life, and I was just being myself and willing to like go out and meet new people and just put myself out there. And it ended up, I just ended up meeting all these amazing people because of it.
You hit some good points that I think we need to tie in, because you said a couple of things that I really like. One, you put yourself out there, you were authentic, you were vulnerable. Two, you really went out there and promoted yourself, and you went out there and met the right people. And I think that's important for people to understand too. Like in our businesses, you can't be secret agents, right? People have to know who you are. They have to know what you stand for. They have to know your moral beliefs. They have to know who you are. And I think what you did, it puts you at a real, because I always think it's interesting, right? When you're in this business and you're successful, obviously you're a great marketer. I wouldn't have reached out to you and asked you to do this. But more importantly, you learn it from someone, right? You take it away from some experience. And Vegas is one of the largest stages, obviously, in the United States. And being catapulted that into your early 20s, obviously you took away some tidbits here and there, right? So if you could impart like a few things on people listening, what are a few little nuggets and takeaways that you learned from that crazy experience at a young age? What were the positives? What were the negatives?
The positives of, I mean, getting out of your comfort zone is probably the number one reason that people grow. And at that time, I really didn't understand it. I was much younger and hadn't experienced as much life as I have now. But I think networking, honestly, is the bread and butter of life. I feel like if people don't know you exist, then how are you going to get anywhere? If you really want to be if you want to be self-employed, have your own business, you have to get in front of people, because if not, people don't know who you are. They don't know you exist. And you'd be surprised how many people are willing to help you when you do meet them, and you explain like who you are, what you're doing, and where you're trying to go. I think that, obviously working in that industry, the lifestyle that comes along with it, I wish I wouldn't have probably, partied so hard, but at the end of the day, that's how I met a lot of people. So it's kind of was where I was at in my life. And I think that if I would have had a little more structure at that time, I probably would have gotten a lot further and accomplished a lot more. At that time, I mean, I did a lot, but I feel like I would have done more. I mean, in hindsight, it's 2020. So, but networking, getting out of your comfort zone, and going for everything. Like I literally applied. I went to all the nightclub interviews. I went to all the day club interviews. I mean, you're around the most beautiful people everywhere. Everyone's got a perfect body. It's just really, and that's getting out of your comfort zone. Honestly, I think that that's really the only way that we can grow as people. That is pretty much what I did the whole time. I was just like, I tried everything. I literally went to every interview. I met as many people as I possibly could. I went to all the events that I could. I did different things like with school, and different jobs that I held. But it was honestly, I think it was me just literally going for everything, even though I was scared out of my mind and nervous and knew I probably wouldn't get it, or second guess myself. I really just went for it, and that's really
You
where
built
I
your
was.
Rolodex. One of the things that I gathered is obviously you're Atlanta. You had a education. You were educated guy. You knew how to interact with people. Then you go to Vegas at a young age and you meet all these good-looking people and probably influential people in the social space. And you threw yourself in that environment, so you pick up these little cues along the way, which leads us to the next segment, which is why everyone's here, is what got you into the real estate business and these little cues that made you successful when you jumped into real estate.
So what got me into the real estate business was, it was at the beginning of 2020. I was kind of trial and erroring a bunch of things, and I have been told several times that I would be good at real estate. I never took anyone up on it. It was something that was foreign to me, getting myself out there, and if people were going to take me seriously. But I still went for it. And then COVID happened. The day that I went to take my real estate exam, the whole economy, the whole United States shut down on March 17th. So I had to wait another month, and then I passed my test. And then after that, I'm not from New Mexico. This was the last place on earth I ever thought I would move to. But, I had to make it work some way, somehow. I do have family here. My sister owns a very successful business with her husband. But I really didn't, I didn't go through her to meet people. Obviously, she wanted to help me, but that wasn't really what I was going for. I wanted to do stuff on my own. And luckily, I live downtown, so I was able to, go out to restaurants. And the first client that I actually got was from Chicago, and I was sitting out in the patio. I got an old fashioned. They were sitting at another table, and I don't know how, but we just started talking. I went up to them, or they went up to me, and he was like, "Oh, I'm actually looking for a realtor." And at this time, I had just finished my 1 month training with my brokerage at the time. So I was like, oh my God, this is my chance. I gave him my card, and then we started looking at houses right away. Super nice guy. I'm actually helping him right now find land. So he's one of my best friends, which is crazy. But that was the very first person I worked with, and I did not know anything about real estate. I didn't know anything about Albuquerque. So I was showing him exactly what he was asking me to show him, and kind of through that, I learned how to navigate, and I started looking at different areas, and obviously talking to my colleagues. I mean, I was very fortunate to start with an amazing company that was able to nurture me at that time. And then after that, I got one under contract in June, and then I got another one under contract a few days after that. It was a for sale by owner. It was one of my sister's clients, but they said that they wanted to purchase the house, so she referred them to me. And then from then on out, I just kind of, I just took everything that came my way. I did every single open house for all the listings at my brokerage.
It's good to know with these agents listening in, they want to hear how you get the business. I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I did door hangers. I mean, this is during COVID, so this is a very different time. I mean, everyone was acting very strange. No one was shaking your hands. Everyone's doing the elbow nudge. Like, people are wearing masks, goggles, the helmets. I mean, you name it. It was just a very strange time, especially for me, because I'm 100% extroverted. I like to be around people. I want to I like to give hugs. I just like getting close to people. So it was really hard for me to navigate at that time.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like myself. Um, so yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it was doing open houses that really just catapulted me in my career at that time, and doing the door hangers and kind of following. Um, I would follow other brokers around that were in the industry for a long time, and my mentors at the time were, one was Belinda Franco. She's incredible. She's actually the president of the Realtor Association, so she knew all of the rules. I mean, they knew everything. So she taught me how to do everything
Tapped into
correctly.
the top.
So I was very fortunate to have that at that time. But I really, honestly, I implemented everything that they told me to do, um, and it worked. I obviously didn't grow my business like too crazy at that time just because COVID, but I was able to, that first 6 months of me being in real estate, I was actually nominated for the Rookie of the Year for the Realtor Association.
How many homes did you have under contract for the first 6 months that you started your business?
I think I did 11.
Wow,
11 or 12.
that's impressive for your first 6 months. So,
Yeah.
so basically, this is always interesting. Like, how do you unpack all of this? So, you went to a place that you didn't know that much about. You had family in town. Your sister and your brother-in-law, it sounds like, had a successful business. But you knew enough to know, get the training, get with the brokerage, and then go to the top and learn from the top and implement exactly what the top people are doing into your own business, correct?
Correct.
And you took a lot of your social skills that you had in Vegas and on the cruise ships, and you implemented that into growing your business and growing, your client list as well, correct?
Absolutely.
So the other thing that I wanted to always touch, because I touch upon all kinds of things. I don't know if you've looked at past episodes. We talk about wardrobe, we talk about composure, we talk about branding, we talk about social media, we talk about attraction, we talk about business, we talk about all these different forms. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on is I'm trying to instill in all the listeners how important your personal brand is to your success. And one of the things that attracted me to you is because, not knowing you from Adam, just seeing your Instagram, there was a lot of parallelisms I saw in the way that I, marketed myself and the way that you marketed yourself, right? We're the same age. We're both 32 years old. We're in different states. We're in different companies. We're in totally different sectors. But the one thing that we had in common was our thought process on the way that we market. So knowing this, what was it about me reaching out to you, or what was it about my social media that made you agree to do this, or made you take the phone call in the first place?
So I was watching. I had watched a video of you. I can't remember what it was posted on, but it was with Ramon Casals and Ryan Mosley.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that video. Normally I don't the attention span. I'm just kind of like scrolling through everything. I don't really sit down and watch a lot of stuff. I mean, I do, but I just got on your page and I was like, wow, this guy, you just seem like a very down to earth, humble person. And like, I pick up on energy very quickly because energy knows no time or bounds. So I know good people when I see them. And I immediately, one of the things I do is when I like people's posts, or when I follow people, I follow them and then I'll like a bunch of their posts, because I want them to get more likes as well. And typically when I do that, I get a follow back or people reach out to me. I just start doing that because for me personally, I like to help people. I want to do things for others. I don't expect anything in return, which I think is huge. I do stuff just because I want to, not for any other, I don't have any ulterior motive. But your page, obviously you're a very well-known builder in Scottsdale and you're in real estate. So I like to connect with everyone. I love connecting with people, and you're doing extremely well, and I can always learn something from someone and vice versa. We all have something to share with people, and and we can all learn from each other. So yeah, and when we started talking, you sent me a message, and I was like, this is awesome. I can't believe this is happening. That's really cool that Michael sent me a message, and our phone call, our conversation went absolutely great. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I've been invited to do podcasts several times. I've just never jumped on it. I've had like that kind of like getting out of my comfort zone, and I've had, this just felt like the right opportunity. It didn't feel forced. It was just kind of something fun, and I was like, you know what, why not? I'm just going to try something different, and network with someone out in Arizona, and hopefully learn a lot from you, and you know that's yeah.
Well, we're learning a lot from you, so thank you for taking the time. And the reason I asked that question is not to put the impetus on me, but more importantly, teach the audience some of the things that they can do to do exactly what we're doing here, right? Two people that are complete strangers, how to meet them, how to interact with them, how to attract them, how to learn from them, and how to help them grow, right? I think one of the reasons you and I liked one another on our conversation was we're both givers. We want to give, we want to help each other grow and grow the followership. Now, for those maybe that, are stuck in their shell, maybe those are, not as gregarious or outgoing as we are, what are some of the things that you learned through your time in Vegas, through Bulletproof, through your marketing background that made you really good at branding? What are some tidbits that you can help the audience with to help their personal brand?
So I've kind of gone through trial and error. I used to kind of just post all the time. I started noticing, when I was posting, I would get likes at certain times, or like certain things that I would post, people would like more or reach out to me more or comment more, and engage more in general. Um, and I've noticed that, doing stuff like this, videos or posting on my story versus, on a post on Instagram, stories get a lot more likes, they get a lot more views, you get yourself out there more. But when I first started, I was, mainly using Facebook and Instagram to market myself. And through that, Facebook has a wonderful marketing program. If you can pay to like, you know, post like, hey, what's your house worth? Those are things that I was doing in the beginning, or like make websites with QR codes, or, you can go in and type in your address and it will share to my, I can't think of the name right now, but like a KV core, or like something where it like pulls in all of someone's information. I was using that at first, and then also marketing via like door hangers or open houses. And then one of the other things that I did right away, that my leadership at the time was like, they would tell me how to get started, partnering with a lender and getting acclimated, finding someone you work really well with, and then doing stuff with them. Same with title companies. I think that is with marketing. Meeting with them all the time, learning from them, asking them questions that were like, if you're new, you don't know everything, so you need to learn. And who better to learn from stuff that you have no idea about, from the people themselves. So title, lender, and then also social media was huge. I was paying for Facebook to market all of my open houses, paying for Facebook to market, like, generating how much the house was worth, and it would send to my CRM. And then I'm trying to think, Instagram, anytime I would get a property under contract, or anytime I would be with a client, I would always post it. I would always make sure that people knew what I was doing, but I didn't do the same thing all the time. Like, I didn't post, a house, DM me for more information. I would post like doing something with a client, going to get coffee, meetings, and then I'd post a listing, then I'd post an open house, then I'd post, stuff about my personal life. And I kept it interesting. I don't like redundance. I think, when you see the same thing over and over, people not necessarily get annoyed, but people get bored very easily. So you got to like change it up in whatever way that is for you. And then also posting at different times. I started looking at the algorithms on Instagram, who was viewing my posts, reading about what time the most popular times were to post. So I was just very inquisitive. I wanted to learn, and I asked a lot of questions, but I really just I would notice things. I'm a very observant person, so I noticed, the times I was posting, when I was posting, what I was posting, and who was liking it, who was commenting. So I started to go based off of that, and then as I started to get really busy, I got a lot. Like when I started posting continuously, people saw that I was doing well because they knew I was brand new, but they saw that I was doing stuff. They saw I was getting myself out there. They saw I was doing well. And I, like, a lot of my business has come from referrals just because of that, of social media alone. I mean, social media is very powerful. It's
So,
incredible.
that's something I think is really interesting. Is so many people are afraid to talk about and or talk about their successes in business and curate their lives. And that's what people want to hear about, right? They want to hear about you going out and having a great conversation with your client. They want to hear about you doing well and making money. They want to learn from you. They want to collaborate with you. And I think the biggest mistake I see so many agents make, and I harp on all of my agents about this, as I said, you guys are not putting yourself out there enough. You're afraid of not getting likes. You're afraid of not getting results on your stories. But what happens is, and this is what people don't understand, I know you get this, that's why I'm talking about it, is regardless as if they like or comment on it, they're seeing it. And that repetition of seeing Seth successful and doing deals and doing 11 deals in his first 6 months and seeing closing, under contract, closing, pending, all these different things. You're out on the town, you're meeting people, you're dressed well, you're professional in the way you curate yourself. All those things are making impressions on our clients, on our peers 24/7. And you don't know it because you don't see it, but you see it 6 months, a year later, and now you're getting opportunities that you wouldn't have before. And that's what I'm trying to impart in a lot of these agents, is realizing and taking your story as an example of this so they can curate that into their lives. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I didn't touch on the other thing that I think is very important. I mean, totally be yourself. There's a market for everyone. I mean, if
Yes.
you're an introvert, extrovert, if you like to dress up, if you like to dress down. For me personally, like, I could have worn whatever, but I feel like when I'm dressed nice, I just feel more empowered. I feel like it's almost like uh, going into a character, if you
Yes.
will. Like when you dress up, you just feel confident. You feel good about yourself. For me personally, that's what works. I like wearing a suit. I mean, I like wearing a blazer with a white button up and some jeans, and some loafers, whatever. If it's cold, I switch it up, but I like to keep it business casual. Obviously, it changes. If you have a luxury listing or something, wear a suit. But I mean, it really just. I feel like if you do stuff that makes you feel good, no matter what it is, dressing up or I mean, that's just, I mean, for me personally, I know
You're
dressing up, that
100%
makes
right. I
me
mean,
feel
one of the things we talk about hours on end are the importance of subtleties. Without you sitting down, I noticed you had a midnight blue blazer on, white shirt, Ferragamo belt, probably loafers. All those things I noticed in milliseconds, right? And those things, what they do is they curate images in your mind. And we talk about this because I'm sure when you saw me for the first time in person, you're doing that assessment as well. What kind of watch does he have? What does he wear? What kind of sunglasses is he wearing? How does he comport himself? All of those things our clients and our peers are judging us on 24/7. And the more professional we are in our day-to-day lives when we interact with others, and the more collaboration that we can do with each other, the more success comes all of our ways. But one of the things that I wanted to touch on in our conversation over the phone, which was a great conversation, I think we clicked quickly based on the idea of wanting to help more people. Talk about a transformation in your life. I know you went through kind of a transformationary situation. You've had some coaching. Is that correct? Like, talk about a
yes.
transformation that was important to you that maybe our listeners can learn from.
So that was another aspect that kind of just like getting out of my comfort zone, trying new things. I had a real estate coach last year, Danny Morell. He's absolutely amazing. He That was just one of the things that I did. But I think really self development, working on myself, kind of. I mean, during these last 2 years, we've had a lot of time to really like figure out where our life is going, what's going on within ourselves. things that we can work on to better our lives. Because I mean, we've been all thrown through the ringer. It doesn't matter where you come from, how much money you have. I mean, we have all been affected in some way, shape, or form. And I think I changed a lot of habits during when I first started. I still had I was kind of hanging on to an old lifestyle and like hanging out with people that weren't as driven as I was, and I had to let go of certain groups of friends. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I think they're great people, but when you're not in a circle of people that have the same goals and or mindset, you're gonna get brought down to their level. It's not that they're bringing you down. It's just you have to get by yourself, away from people, to really change. Like if you're gonna hang out with the same people, it's not their fault. It's just who we are. That's kind of like it's a subconscious mind. We just kind of go with the flow. But when you start switching things up, you realize like who you are and what you're capable of, because you're trying new things. You're getting out of your comfort zone. You're open to learning, and that was huge for me in the beginning. I changed friend groups. I'm still friends with them, but a lot of I shifted more towards like goal oriented people. Started hanging out with people that were in real estate and or business owners, and then really just diving deep into that and asking questions and learning from them. My real estate coaching program was amazing. It taught you how to talk to people. We would do scripts on scripts on scripts on scripts, just like getting yourself out of your comfort zone, practicing these scripts, and also, learning how to heal. I think a lot of us, over the last 2 years have, like I said, been through a lot. We're experiencing a lot. We've had a lot of downtime. We've had a lot of alone time. And, it hasn't been easy for a lot of people, including myself. I'm an extrovert. I don't like being alone, but I've now learned that I do like being alone, because I've put a lot of value in myself. But I also, I love people, but I needed that alone time to get to know who I was. And now that I've done that and worked on myself, I've done different different therapies, and I've done plant medicine, all these things that kind of opened up my eyes to the world and like new experiences, and also connecting with people, helping people. I've one of the things I did touch on during 2020, my sister and I partnered together, and we fed families while her business was shut down. We raised money, and we'd go to Costco, and we would literally fill up. We'd get all organic stuff. We partnered with Honey Baked Hams, local bakeries, and we would sit there and make food boxes. And I would go to these schools, Title I schools, and hand them to the schools, and see all these families lined up. And I was like, oh my God, like I had never seen anything like this. I knew people were suffering, but that's really, honestly, like you said, giving, that's what changed my entire life. After doing the food donations and partnering and helping all those families, I got involved with YPN, Young Professionals Network, and GAP with the Realtor Association here. And I actually brought it's not an organization, it's called Laundry Love. I presented this to the executive real estate board for New Mexico, and I actually had it passed. So every February, they will collect laundry supplies, because EBT cards don't pay for laundry items. So if you don't have any money, you can't buy laundry. So all these kids get made fun of because their clothes aren't clean, wearing the same thing. They smell. Parents need clean clothes, for interviews, or just to feel, like I said, dressing nice. Think about how you feel when your clothes are dirty. Those are a lot of things that and now I'm the programs director for the Women's Council. So I set up all of our events. It's part of the National Association of Realtors. So that was the other thing that I really did to get involved as much as I possibly could, because you want to help people like me. And same thing, I want to help people. And I just, through networking, I'm a people connector. I meet all these people, and I get them connected to the right people, and they do their thing. And then it's just it's a beautiful thing, and I'm very grateful for it. But I know
I
I
love
probably went
that.
different
I think
tangents,
that's
but
very important. I mean, it's really important to give back, and that story is a story that binds, right? Anyone listening in can say, "Wow, that's a cool thing." A, how do I get involved? How do I implement something like that with myself in my local town? And then that philanthropic aspect. The thing that is always interesting to me is, do you have a daily routine or a morning routine that you implement now in your life? Can you talk about
yeah,
that a little bit if you do?
I do, and I'm actually like I'm still trial and error, but I think that having a routine, I the last few months have been kind of because I'm a human being. You know, I've been super slammed. I mean, I'm still this is my second year this month in real estate, and I have just been nonstop going, and I was on a set schedule last year, and I was going to the gym. So I wake up, I go to the gym, I shower, I make breakfast, and then I start my day.
Yep.
But for the last few months, and I will say this just because I know that there's a lot of people that do this, I wake up, check my phone, immediately start working, and then do things as they come. And that totally threw me off,
Doesn't
like
work.
completely. And I learned it, it made me like, it just wore me down. And I wasn't doing things that I enjoyed. You know, I forgot
Mm,
about me. So
mm.
I think that now I get up, I do some sort of meditation, I read the Bible, I listen to a podcast, I make breakfast right away because I need something of substance. Obviously, I love coffee, so I've got I think that's probably before anything is my latte that I make for myself. But um, I just have alone time in the morning, and then I go to the gym, come back, shower, get ready, and this is all I get up around 5:30, 6:30. It depends on the day, sometimes later, but if I get up later, obviously, you know, it kind of throws my day off, and it depends on what I have going on that day. But first thing is get up, make a latte for me, do some podcasts, read the Bible, listen to, you know, some positive affirmations. I'm gonna start journaling. I just bought a journal. I'm gonna start writing affirmations down. Like, I am amazing. I am a top producer. I am successful. I am happy. You know, I am this much money a month or more. Because
Are
repetition
are you
is
doing something in your daily routine where you're actually, what we do is we call them daily deposits, right? Are you reaching out to a certain number of potential clients a day? Reaching out to, are you on a team? Do you have agents? Like, what do you do on a day in regards to your daily deposits for your business that seems to be working for you?
so one of the things that like probably set me up for success before anything is I've always been um, I've always liked to make people feel good. So like if it's someone's birthday on Facebook, I'll be like, happy birthday, happy birthday. If it's like I'll start commenting or sharing people's posts. You know, I do reach out to clients like this morning. I've had several people reach out to me just for different things, but I'm constantly in contact with other people. Like I'm trying to help other people. I'm, you know, I mean, I do make calls. I'm kind of in this place. I do things as they come, but I also have like stuff that I just do as a person. So like I'm constantly reaching out to people. I'm constantly telling people thank you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly like helping other agents by sharing their posts. I'm constantly helping my business partner. So we
Yeah.
just created our brand, selling the Sandias. It's my business partner, Deanna Mays. She is incredible. She is my other half. We complement each other very well. So like this morning, I was sharing all of her listings. We're going over the open houses that we're going to do this weekend. But honestly, I'm really just constantly collaborating with people. I'm finding ways to connect in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter if it's a comment, a like. I literally go through everyone's posts and I'll put a heart on like, you know, 50 people's posts within, you know, a few hours. I'll send text people. I thank people for their time. I
Mm-hmm.
thank people for doing things for me. I'm just constantly trying to put good into the world and trying to help others and yeah, just be involved in some way, shape, or form. But I I do go to the office. But I kind of leave because I have a lot of clients. So like I need time to show houses. I need time to make calls.
How
But
many listings do you have currently?
So right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was just in the last month. My business partner and I, we've got about, I think, 10 under contract at the moment. We've got 4 closings this week. So
So you don't do that by accident. So what I'm trying to extract from you is, everyone on here wants to help grow their business and grow their brand, right? So when you partnered with your partner and you guys are having this success, this is your second year in real estate, is that correct? I mean,
yeah, this
that's
month.
that's pretty amazing. You're doing obviously very well, especially for that Albuquerque market because it's a tight market. It's not as robust as Phoenix or Vegas or LA or what have you. So there's obviously something that you're doing that is unique to you and your partner. What do you think that you do that's different? Do you track your net worth? Do you track your listings? Do you track your income? Like, what do you do as far as the financial end?
So we actually we just joined Keller Williams last month.
Mm.
Deanna and I flew out to Dallas last in February. We met with the head of Keller Williams there, Teresa Flood. She's awesome. She kind of like sparked our mind of like what we were missing because
Mm-hmm.
Deanna and I were trying to do everything ourselves. We were trying to implement um, like our team and starting all like trying to get everything. I went to school for event planning, so when you're trying to start a team, it's the same thing. It's like there's so many components to doing all these things, and we were at that time we were more focused on building our team than building our brand. But now that we have people that help us do that, I think that we're also implementing. We're learning about. We're actually doing that today. We're learning where our leads come from. We have lead generation sites. We've got seller generation.
What do you use for that, if you don't mind us asking? Do you use KV Core? Do you use CRMs? Like, what do you do for your lead gen?
So yeah, we use our CRM Lion Desk. It's affiliated with Transaction Desk,
Mm-hmm.
which is in all 50 states. It's a very user friendly program. It's also cost effective. I'm part of the I'm part of many different real estate uh, business emails, and they send me stuff all the time. It's called the Close. I would recommend anyone getting
The
on that.
close, how do you get on that, or how do you research that for those listening?
So I just typed in the Close, like it popped up on. I don't know if it came through an email or if I saw it online, but it has different things that you can do in real estate. So it brought up a CRM. It was one day it was like talking about the top 10 best CRMs of
Mm.
2022, and Deanna and I were looking for something at that time, and we've been using KV Core. We use a lot of different things. We just trial and error a lot, but I think having a CRM in place is so imperative to success
I agree.
because
Got to track it.
yeah, we're busy people. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
How
It's
much?
hard to stay in touch with people. It's hard
How
to stay
much
in
would you say you pay in your CRM for leads a month? Do you have an average spend, like a daily spend or something like that?
So on our CRM, it's only, I think this one's $100. So we have it set up to, it's like 116 per month. We have it set up to automatically send out texts and all of that. But we've done Realtor.com, we've done Zillow, we've got all this seller leads. We've got pretty much everything. We've tried everything, and because of those platforms, we also have extra stuff coming in constantly. But when on social media, when you're working with these people from these platforms, you can post about it, and then that's how you pick up your sphere of influence. People
Mm.
see what you're doing,
Mm.
they see that you're successful. They don't know where your leads are coming from.
Right.
They just know that you're producing. So
Is there one that stands out to you that you're like, whoa, this is way more successful than I thought it would be, if that makes sense?
Obviously, Zillow's a great platform. I think everyone knows that. So, Zillow is the number one platform for people looking for for clients or for real estate in general. Everyone knows that when you Google an address, Zillow or Realtor.com are popping up. But the other thing too is I also, like I mentioned earlier, partnering with title and
Mm.
or a lender, because lenders, they also have leads. they are the ones that can go in on leads with you. So, they'll be able to absorb some of that cost for you. So a lot of people think that you're paying for these leads outright. You're more than welcome to, but if you partner with a lender, lenders can help you with these costs. Doesn't matter what program. There's many different programs out there, but partnering with lender or title, even with title companies, I got $1 million listing from an escrow officer that I was using multiple times, and I've done like another thing partnering with title is I have a marketing person with title at Old Republic, and we do postcards. I've gotten listings from postcards. I'm still new. I don't know anyone here, and I've gotten 2 listings just from postcards alone, and I've only sent them out 5 or 6 times, and don't send them out continuously.
So here's a question for you. So you've been in the industry for how long? 18 months? 20 months?
I got my license May 2020, so 2 years.
2 years. And in that time, how many homes have you closed in 2 years? Your first 2 years, do you know?
Let's see.
And the reason I bring this up is for all those of you watching, it took me 2.5, 3 years before I really started getting my traction. And so that's why I love highlighting Seth, is because there's so many nuggets here to pull from as far as you don't know anyone in town. You really are doing this on your own. You have a great partner and you have a sister who's successful. And now you're just throwing all these different things in the air. Some are hitting, some are auxiliary hitting something else. And now you have a pretty robust business. Did you figure out the number?
Yeah, it's 44. So since May, so I started, I wasn't allowed to start in May. So since June 2020, I've done 44, I've closed 44 houses.
So basically,
I've had several fall through, but
basically on average, you're doing 2 deals a month on average, you would say.
Correct.
That's pretty impressive, Seth. That is very impressive. I think a lot of agents listening in would like that in their business as well. So knowing all this, right? I like having a strong partner in title. I like having a strong partner in the mortgage space. I think that's brilliant. I like going out there and creating a robust CRM and having a good backdrop. For these agents wanting to do more business and learn from what you're doing, what are some key takeaways and pointers that you have figured out in the last 2 years that you didn't know going into it, if that makes sense?
Number 1 is get involved in something that you love to do. That is find what brings you joy, and whatever you love to do, start just getting in front of people, going to events, or meeting people that are interested in the same things that you are. Not only that, but finding ways to give back to the community. That is, to me, I don't care what anyone says, giving is probably the number 1 reason why I'm so successful. Because, in the Bible, give and you shall receive, or ask and you shall receive, but the more you give, the more you receive. And that is not why you should give, but you should give because you love to give. It doesn't matter if it's time, money, a conversation. It's just, or people asking for help. I have people reach out to me all the time asking me what I'm doing or how to get started, or if I can connect them with people. Another thing I do, I call myself a card dealer. I help a lot of small businesses. I am constantly just referring businesses to people.
Because I want dealer, C-A-R-D.
What was that?
Card dealer, C-A-R-D.
Correct. Yeah, because I meet people and I take their cards and I start talking to people and I want to help other people be successful. And if not for me, like I said, I'm a people connector. I genuinely want the best for others. I am here because people have done this for me. And I'm also here because I have done this for other people. But I think just doing stuff like getting outside of who you are and just really finding whatever you're gifted at and really working on that and making it work and helping. I don't know. It's, to me personally, it's helping people. I think that like you and I have both talked about this. you are successful. I know you are successful, obviously for many other reasons, but helping people the way that you do is one of the reasons why you are so successful and will continue to be successful.
But you hit on an interesting point, and I think a lot of people don't understand this until they actually see it. But chasing the dollar and chasing money all on its own is a very rootless existence. It doesn't give you happiness, and it doesn't give you wholeness in your life, and you don't know that until you get it, right? And then what you realize, which I think you're starting on the precipice to realize like me, is being a teacher or being a giver, and it's not just monetary, it's also experience, it's knowledge, it's helping those people that need help, and then having them help those that need their help. That's the biggest gift on the earth that we can give. And that's why, I really appreciate you taking the time today and telling your story, because I think we just cracked the surface. There's a lot more to Seth. And I think you're going to have extreme success in your market as well because of that mentality. It's almost the giver's mentality, right? The giver's mentality of going out there and trying to leave an imprint, right? We throw a pebble in the pond, it ripples. There's all these assets of magnetism that come back to us tenfold. And a lot of it you touched upon, which I took a lot of notes. I hope people listening in did too, which was, being authentic, understanding how to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, how to put yourself in the room and talk to really influential people. My takeaway with you in Vegas, which I liked, was putting yourself in every interview. And you probably learned a lot about people that way. You learned a lot about vanity, you learned a lot about success, you learned a lot about money, you learned a lot about people and their ego, you learned how to infiltrate and go through that in an authentic way. And one of the reasons I think they were attracted to you is you are authentic, kind in a city that's the city of sin, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So a lot of that I think is key takeaways from the listeners. And if you like Seth's story, put in the comment section, and we'll open it up quickly for questions. A lot of people are shy; they don't like to ask questions. But if any of you have questions for Seth, business related, how he got into business, anything you want to ask about marketing, etc., we'll type that in there. But I like the card. What was that? What was that last thing you said? I'm a card
Dealer.
Card dealer. I like that. A card dealer. So you're the connector, basically.
Yep.
And as the connector, you're basically the glue that holds all these different people together, and you're always in the conversation. And if you're always in the conversation, through osmosis, that's going to lead to more deals, I would assume. So if you had to look into the future, obviously you're a young guy, you have a strong partnership, you're doing well, you're creating income. What's on the horizon for you? If you were to look at your business 5 years from now, what would you hope to accomplish?
Well, I definitely, not being from here and with my networking skills, I want to take it to other states. We're already in the works with that right now. So I know that will come to fruition. Investing in properties, like multi-units, flipping houses, continuing to find ways to give back, probably start doing more stuff like this now that I'm comfortable because I have an amazing story to share, and I've been working on myself for the last 5 years. I mean, we all go through stuff, but my past and where I'm at today, like I would never in a million years think that I would be in this type of position. So I definitely, the more people I get in front of, I'm here to help a lot of people. I know this because of the people that I get connected with not even trying. I mean, some of the stuff that I've done, I'm just like, how do I even get into these situations? But I know that I'm meant for something much greater because of that. And I want to, possibly, be a public speaker of some sort, or I don't know. I know real estate, it comes easily. It's navigating through this market, obviously learning as the market shifts or whatever happens. But really just, I want to try new things. I want to learn from new people. I want to experience new places. I know there's a lot more out there, and, I'm one of those people. I don't want to do myself a disservice. So I want to build my brand here, which we are. But I also, too, I know I can take it other places and do the same because I've done it several times, and it's just, I mean, there's a lot of exciting things going on. I'm still now growing my team. My sister and mom both got their real estate license, or passed their tests in the last month or so. So I'm helping them get acclimated and started. But yeah, I foresee a lot of amazing things happening, and connecting with a lot more amazing people, and helping a lot more people in general. So
I love that. Yeah, that's why we're here. That's why we're put on this planet, is to collaborate, confide, and make sure we're all more successful as a collective. And I think it's a cool story because obviously you're with Keller Williams, one of our biggest competitors. And I don't look at it like that. I look at it as, how do we help one another? How do we collaborate more and make each other more successful? And it's been a pleasure, talking to you, Seth. I'm sure you're going to have every success you want in life. How can I help you? Let me know how I can help blow you up. And secondly, if people are listening in and they're commenting or liking, how can they follow you? How can they connect with you? If they have questions, what's the best way to reach you?
So social media is a great way to reach me. I love staying connected with people. Everywhere I go, I'm always like, what's your Instagram? So my Instagram handle is Seth Sells Real Estate, SELLS. And then obviously my name, Seth Rochefort, ROCHEFORT. And yeah, I am always open to helping people, collaborating with people. I want to learn your stuff. I want to work with new people. So if you have ideas, I'm always open. And like I said, I do know a lot of people, so I can connect people to people if they get in touch with me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to learning and growing and thriving with everyone. And I'm always here to help in any way that I can.
Thanks, Seth. Appreciate your time, and hopefully, if you like this, share this with your fan base, and so more people can see your story and more people can learn how to grow their real estate business. I mean, I would assume your team is going to grow to 10 to 20 people here in the next couple of years, hopefully, and you'll go state to state to state, and then we can do more business together.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to
Awesome.
doing business with you in the future.
I look forward to it too. Well, you have a great day, Seth. And for everyone out there, thank you for listening in. Go out there, create your own $1 million brand, and have a wonderful week, Seth. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.